I was living in Malmö last 2 years, and I got interested in these pencils. So I was like, okay, pencils, and where were they made? And then I come across the factory, which used to be somewhere in Copenhagen and also in Malmö. I was like, oh, in Malmö, that's interesting. And then it turns to be that this factory used to be at the same street where I was living. I was like, no, this is like, it can't be true, but it's true. It's like these kind of signals from above. So carbon-14 is a project where I actually questioning the idea of the progress of our society, so that everything should move forward, we should go higher or better. But I'm kind of questioning, is this progress a linear development or is it a circular development? And in my opinion, it's always a circular development. That's my sketchbook, in a way. First humans in Scandinavia. So I'm writing down all the interesting facts. You know, when you're starting researching, you have some questions. You're like, oh, but this is also like, this was somehow connected to that one, to that topic. So, and then it brings you to another question. At the end, you just disappear because it's so much information. The research, it's not disconnected. So I didn't go from photography to research. It was always a part. The research was always a part of my photography. I'm curious about things I don't know, and that's how it brings me to the research, because then I'm like, okay, but how does it work? Do I understand what it is, and how can I understand it? I like the way that something changes through the time. Also, like in my previous work, I like to track this change. If you make a print, it's also time related, and it will also disappear. But on the other hand, nothing will disappear, because everything will change to something else. Like this, what I'm saying, this circularity of the development. So like, I'm going back to this, to the drawing, and then from drawing to graphite, from graphite to graphene. And then actually I'm burning the leftovers and I'm making charcoal, and charcoal becomes another kind of carbon, and that carbon can be changed, like can develop into the graphite again, and this rotation will continue. The exhibition is very important, material is very important for me. It's not so much about image making anymore. It's definitely not. It's more about like questioning the whole medium of photography. Of course, it's not only photography, because photography is so complex. It's the idea of the medium is still present, definitely. But it's just like it's so much more around it. It's also kind of another reproduction, what you're making from the same, but it's for me, it's almost a photography, because a photography, of course, is also like kind of imprint of something, or well, the way we think it is, which is I'm kind of questioning, of course. The work is like this, trying to get to know something. And do I understand it better? I don't think so, no. It's a failure. It's always a failure. This research is a failure. Like, do I understand a pencil, or do I understand this prehistorical totem? No, I don't, but I won't be able. That's always thing we should be aware of, that we cannot understand everything. And every try will get us somewhere, but it's not the end. It's always like a new question, and which need to be answered.